God says, listen closely, my beloved soul. Before you do anything else, before your mind rushes ahead, before the noise of the world pulls you back, give yourself these 2 quiet minutes. You were not brought here by accident. There is a gentle reason this message reached you, and that reason is peace. Not loud answers. Not pressure. Just calm, steady guidance meant to settle your heart. Right now, Archangel Michael stands near you, not to fight, not to warn, not to alarm, but to bring clarity. His presence is calm, steady, and reassuring. You may not see him, but your spirit recognizes the stillness he carries. That quiet feeling inside you, the one that feels like a slow breath after a long day, is not random. It is your soul responding to peace. You have carried many thoughts lately. Some unfinished. Some heavy. Some confusing. And even though you kept moving, a part of you has been asking for rest, for direction that does not rush you, for answers that do not overwhelm you. God heard that silent request. That is why this message feels different. There is no urgency here. There is only alignment. Archangel Michael says that peace is not something you chase, it is something you return to. And right now, you are returning to it. These moments are not meant to change your life overnight. They are meant to gently guide your next step, to soften your thoughts, and to remind you that you are not behind, not lost, and not late. You may feel like you have been thinking too much about what comes next. About whether you are doing enough. About whether you are choosing correctly. About whether things will settle the way you hope. God says you do not need to solve everything today. You only need to listen calmly. Guidance comes more clearly when the heart is quiet. Archangel Michael brings peaceful thoughts, not because everything is already perfect, but because you are learning how to trust the unfolding. There are things working in your favor that do not need your constant attention. There are answers forming that do not require force. The pressure you feel does not belong to your future. It belongs to a past season that is slowly closing. Take a breath here. Let your shoulders relax. Let your mind slow down just enough to hear what really matters. God is not speaking through noise right now. He is speaking through reassurance. Through the reminder that you are supported, guided, and allowed to move at a human pace. You are not expected to be strong all the time. You are not expected to have everything figured out. Peace is arriving first so that clarity can follow naturally. When the heart is calm, the path becomes visible on its own. Archangel Michael says that gentle guidance is surrounding you. Small signs. Subtle shifts. Quiet understanding. Nothing forced. Nothing rushed. The peace you feel now is preparing you to make better choices later, from a place of confidence rather than fear. Stay with this feeling. Let it settle into you. These 2 quiet minutes are doing more than you realize. They are realigning your thoughts, steadying your emotions, and reminding you that you are allowed to move forward with grace, not pressure. This message does not demand anything from you. It simply offers peace, clarity, and guidance, right when you needed it. God says, stay with this calm a little longer. Something inside you softened when you began listening, and that softness is important. It is how guidance enters. Not by force. Not by urgency. But by quiet understanding that settles gently in the heart. Archangel Michael remains close, not as a warrior now, but as a guardian of balance. His presence brings order to thoughts that have been scattered for a long time. You may notice that your breathing feels slower, that your mind is not racing the way it usually does. This is not imagination. This is alignment. When the soul feels safe, it allows clarity to rise naturally. There have been moments in your life when you wished someone would simply say, "You are doing enough." God is saying that now. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are not missing something essential. You are learning, growing, adjusting, and becoming more aware of yourself than you were before. That awareness is progress, even if it feels quiet. Archangel Michael says that peace does not arrive because all questions are answered, it arrives because you no longer need every answer at once. Some things are meant to unfold slowly so that they can last. The pressure you once felt to rush decisions is easing because you are entering a season where discernment matters more than speed. Think about how much you have carried internally without speaking about it. Thoughts you replayed. Emotions you kept organized so others wouldn't worry. Responsibilities you accepted because you believed it was your role to hold things together. God saw all of that. And this message is not asking you to release everything today. It is simply inviting you to rest your inner world for a moment. Archangel Michael brings peaceful guidance by reminding you that your life does not need to be dramatic to be meaningful. Small steps taken with clarity often lead to the most stable outcomes. Quiet decisions made with a calm heart protect you far more than rushed choices driven by fear. You may have noticed that when you stop forcing things, they begin to rearrange themselves. Conversations feel easier. Your intuition feels clearer. Your reactions soften. This is not coincidence. This is what happens when your spirit is no longer in defense mode. Peace creates space, and in that space, wisdom becomes audible. God says that you do not need to explain your pace to anyone. The path you are on is teaching you patience, self-trust, and emotional balance. These are foundations, not delays. What is being built quietly inside you will support everything that comes next. Archangel Michael wants you to understand something important. Guidance does not always arrive as a clear voice or a sudden realization. Sometimes it arrives as a feeling of calm where anxiety used to live. Sometimes it arrives as the absence of panic. Sometimes it arrives as the ability to sit with uncertainty without being consumed by it. You are learning how to stay centered even when life is still moving. That is a sign of maturity of the soul. Many people appear confident on the outside while being restless within. You are learning the opposite, how to feel steady inside even when answers are still forming. Let your thoughts settle again here. There is nothing you need to fix right now. Nothing you need to prove. Nothing you need to chase. This moment is about grounding yourself in the truth that you are supported. Guidance surrounds you even when you are not actively searching for it. Archangel Michael says that peaceful thoughts are arriving because you are ready to trust yourself more. You are beginning to recognize which thoughts belong to intuition and which belong to fear. And the more you listen calmly, the clearer that distinction becomes. God is not asking you to change who you are. He is gently guiding you to return to who you were before pressure, expectation, and comparison shaped your decisions. There is a quieter version of you that still exists, thoughtful, observant, sincere. That version is coming forward again. Stay present with this feeling. Let it settle deeper. This is not the end of the message, it is the deepening of it. Peace is being layered into your awareness so that future guidance feels natural rather than overwhelming. Archangel Michael remains near, holding space for your clarity to grow at its own pace. Nothing is being taken from you in this season. Only unnecessary weight is being released. And as this calm continues, you may realize something gently shifting inside you, a sense that you do not need to rush life to meet you. Life is already meeting you where you are. God says, now that your mind has slowed, listen to what your heart has been trying to say for a long time. Beneath all the noise, beneath expectations and responsibilities, there has always been a gentle awareness guiding you. It never shouted. It never demanded attention. It simply waited for you to become still enough to notice it again. Archangel Michael speaks softly now, because guidance does not need volume when truth is present. He reminds you that not every season of life is meant for action. Some seasons are meant for understanding, for recognizing patterns, and for learning when to step forward and when to remain steady. You are currently in a season where awareness is more valuable than movement. You may have felt uncertain about certain choices, not because you lacked ability, but because your spirit was asking for alignment before commitment. That hesitation was not weakness. It was wisdom protecting you from decisions that would have drained you instead of nourishing you. God honors that inner pause. Archangel Michael says that peaceful guidance often feels like permission to slow down, permission to say no without guilt, permission to rest without explaining yourself. You have been learning that you do not need to justify your boundaries to be worthy of respect. Calm confidence speaks louder than urgency ever could. Think about how much your perspective has changed compared to who you were before. You notice things differently. Now, you listen more carefully. You feel more deeply, but you also recover faster. That is growth. Not the loud kind that demands recognition, but the quiet kind that reshapes your inner world. God says that clarity is arriving not as a sudden revelation, but as a gradual settling. Questions that once felt heavy no longer carry the same emotional weight. Situations that once triggered anxiety now invite reflection instead. This is how peace matures. Not by removing every challenge, but by changing how you respond to them. Archangel Michael wants you to know that guidance does not always point you towards something new. Sometimes it gently redirects you back to yourself. Back to your values. Back to your natural rhythm. Back to the things that bring you quiet fulfillment rather than external validation. You are beginning to understand that not everything needs your energy. Some things resolve themselves when you stop resisting them. Some answers appear only after you release the need to control outcomes. This is not surrendering your power, it is using it wisely. God sees that you have learned from past moments where you gave too much too quickly. That awareness is shaping a more balanced future for you. The peace you feel now is teaching you discernment, how to recognize what aligns with you and what simply demands attention without offering nourishment. Archangel Michael says that guidance becomes clearer when the heart is calm because calmness allows intuition to speak without interference. Fear rushes. Peace observes. And right now, observation is serving you better than reaction ever could. You may notice that you no longer feel the need to convince others of your intentions. You are becoming comfortable letting your actions speak slowly over time. This quiet confidence is a sign that your inner foundation is strengthening. God says that peaceful thoughts are not meant to isolate you from the world, but to prepare you to engage with it more authentically. When you move from a place of inner stability, your words carry more weight, your decisions feel lighter, and your presence becomes reassuring to others. Archangel Michael continues to stand beside you, reminding you that protection does not always look like intervention. Sometimes it looks like redirection. Sometimes it looks like delay. Sometimes it looks like a calm feeling that prevents you from stepping into situations that would have disturbed your balance. Notice how this message does not rush you. That is intentional. Guidance meant for the soul arrives at the pace of understanding, not urgency. You are being invited to trust that what is meant for you will not require panic to reach you. God says that the peace you are experiencing is preparing you for conversations, opportunities, and decisions that will require steadiness rather than speed. You are learning how to remain grounded even when circumstances shift around you. Archangel Michael wants you to remember this feeling. Not as something temporary, but as a reference point. Whenever life feels overwhelming again, you will know how to return to this inner stillness. It is not outside of you. It is part of who you are becoming. Stay present with this awareness. Let it deepen naturally. This guidance is not ending, it is continuing to unfold layer by layer, gently, steadily, without pressure. God says, you have reached the place where understanding becomes gentle and certainty no longer needs proof. Everything you have heard until now was not meant to overwhelm you, but to return you to yourself. This final moment is not about learning something new. It is about recognizing what has already been forming quietly within you. Archangel Michael stands with calm authority, not to instruct, but to affirm. He says that the peace you feel right now is not temporary relief. It is alignment. Alignment happens when your inner truth and your outer choices begin to agree with one another. You are stepping into a phase where confusion no longer dominates your decisions. Even when answers are not immediate, you no longer feel lost. God says that you are beginning to trust your own inner compass again. For a long time, you relied on external signs, opinions, and reassurance. That was part of your growth. But now, you are being invited to recognize that guidance has matured inside you. Silence no longer feels empty. It feels supportive. Archangel Michael wants you to understand something important. Not every blessing arrives with excitement. Some arrive as stability. Some arrive as emotional balance. Some arrive as the ability to remain calm even when others are uncertain. These are not small gifts. They are foundations for everything that comes next. You may notice that certain worries no longer return the way they used to. Thoughts that once looped endlessly now pass without attaching themselves to your heart. This is not avoidance. This is healing. God says that when peace becomes familiar, chaos loses its influence. Archangel Michael speaks of timing now. He says that you are no longer early, and you are no longer late. You are aligned. Things will begin to reach you when you are ready to receive them without fear or attachment. This is why patience no longer feels like punishment. It feels like trust. God says that your presence is becoming grounding to others, even when you do not try to be. People sense your steadiness. They feel safe around calm energy. This is not something you forced. It is something that grew as you learned to regulate your emotions instead of reacting to them. Archangel Michael reminds you that clarity often feels quiet. It does not rush you. It does not pressure you. It simply stays. When something is truly meant for you, it will not disturb your peace to arrive. It will fit into it naturally. You are being guided toward a life that feels lighter, not because responsibilities disappear, but because you no longer carry what is not yours. You are learning discernment, when to engage, when to step back, and when to let things resolve without your interference. God says that this awareness will protect you more than force ever could. It will guide your words, your relationships, your work, and your rest. You will begin to notice that fewer explanations are needed. Fewer justifications are required. You simply know what aligns, and you act from that knowing. Archangel Michael stands firm now, not as a messenger, but as a guardian of this clarity. He says that once peace is integrated, it cannot be taken away by circumstances. It becomes part of your decision-making, part of your boundaries, part of your identity. As this message comes to its close, God wants you to understand that nothing dramatic needs to happen for something meaningful to change. Sometimes the most powerful shift is internal. And once that shift occurs, life reorganizes itself naturally around it. You are not waiting anymore. You are living from awareness. And from that place, guidance continues without effort. Take this calm with you. Return to it whenever needed. It is always accessible. If this message brought calm to your mind or clarity to your heart, support this channel by liking this video so more people can receive peaceful guidance like this. Share it with someone who may need a quiet moment today. And subscribe to stay connected with messages that bring clarity, balance, and spiritual strength. If this resonated with you, leave a comment with one word that describes how you feel right now.